you know that makes me angry when you touch my favourite Chinese. Why would you do that, you asshole? Can you imagine that the husband shrugged his shoulders and turned around at her and said, and you know what? I wasn't even hungry. That's crazy. That's why Wouldn't you want to strangle a bitch after hearing that?
Oh,
I just saw red here on that.
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine? I said, you know what? I wasn't even hungry as well.
Do you know what it is? Crazy. It's not even just the fact that he wasn't hungry. It's the fact that he literally, that's like, I've literally just laughed in your face about it as well. Like, there's no respect.
When you know,
like, you do not fear my anger whatsoever in any way, shape, or form. You just know I'm just going to take it. So now I have to do something drastic. It's finally that time. After 30, 40, 50 years of marriage, those years are finally here. Your golden years. No more work, no more London transport, no more school runs. Just kicking back in hot tubs, sipping margaritas, and making vaguely racist comments in your backyard. Or so Pam, Nancy, and Shalise thought. That was until their husbands squandered their life savings in a dodgy scheme, and now their wives are looking for some get back by cashing in on their husbands' 7-figure life insurance policies. But little do they know, the husbands have some secrets of their own.
It's funny because the way you've framed it is as if the husbands deserved what was coming to them. Do you think they did?
Didn't they?
Pause this video right now. Go and read The Retirement Plan by
Sue Hincenbergs. And when you've read it, you can join us for discussion.
Or you can join us anyway because we're going to tell you all about it. My name's Elijah.
And I'm Joseph, and welcome to the Aisha Library. So what did you think of the book?
I had high hopes for it because I actually read this one for pleasure because it wasn't a book we were supposed to be reading, but I thought we need something. You know, we've read a lot of books that are just not it. We need something. This type of book is definitely you're promised a high octane.
That's a good way of putting it.
Plot. You're promised something.
Yeah.
And we didn't get. We got. It was okay, but it didn't fulfill what it was. What it said.
We was promised electricity.
We were promised electricity, and we got candlelight.
It's not the same.
Yeah. So the author needs a slap because when you got the retirement plan, you know, you expect something. Yeah, you expect some action. Did we get action?
I think they expected the wit to carry it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that never works. It doesn't. It never ever works.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not enough. We need something. We need something of substance.
It's like, do I really have to explain to you, an author, that you have to write a good book? Really?
Yeah, not just a couple of jokes.
Like, really? You didn't know that already?
How many have you got?
I have 5.
So do I.
Stop
you keep having the same. I'll go first anyway. Alright, cool. Right off the bat, and I have to say that it is completely unrealistic for 3 friends to kill their husbands for $1 million insurance settlement each. That is way too suspicious and unrealistic. Sure. I feel that law enforcement would be all over that. It makes much more sense and it would be much less suspicious to kill one husband and then the 3 women could split the $1 million payout between them. Maybe this would allow for some form of raffle for them to decide which husband to kill, and that could have been interesting. I have to say that the author is teeing up the wives to want to kill their husbands nicely. I can't remember which couple it was, but her wife angrily confronted her husband after he ate her Chinese leftovers. She said, you know that makes me angry when you touch my favourite Chinese. Why would you do that, you asshole? Can you imagine that the husband shrugged his shoulders and turned around at her and said, and you know what? I wasn't even hungry. That's crazy. Wouldn't you want to strangle a bitch after hearing that? I just saw red here on that.
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine? I said, I wasn't even hungry as well.
Do you know what it is? Crazy. It's not even just the fact that he wasn't hungry. It's the fact that he literally, that's like, I've literally just laughed in your face about it as well. Like, there's no respect.
You do
not fear my anger whatsoever in any way, shape, or form. You just know I'm just going to take it. So now I have to do something drastic now.
So Joseph, if it was your friend who choked his girl out for eating his leftovers, would you say that he's somebody who has anger problems, or would you say that it's reasonable?
I would say there was...
Given that situation...
I would say there was definite provocation there. You know? There was provocation there. We can't ignore it. Like when firemen pull up to a fire, when they put it out, they don't just drive off. You know, they sift through the debris. How did it start? How did this happen?
Okay, so what if it was your daughter?
Well, what did she do?
No, what if you
No, but in all
what if you don't
seriousness-
said to her, you know what? I wasn't even hungry.
My daughter would never be raised like that. My daughter would be raised to watch out.
No, but you know,
especially
in a
when-
relationship setting, people grind each other's gears. You know, he
Yeah,
might
yeah.
have done something the day before or something like
Yeah, I
that,
hear
and she's
that.
trying. So, what would you say to her, given the fact that you found out that she got strangled? She ran to you. Oh, my boyfriend strangled you.
Ultimately, and we obviously know this to be the case. Number one, your girlfriend's always gonna make you feel like you want to strangle her, but you just don't do it.
Even
just
that,
don't do
even
it.
under those
You
circumstances.
just don't do it. You can't.
Yeah, strangling's a mad, isn't it?
Yeah, exact. Strangling's, yeah, it's mad. Throttling, like Bart Simpson level throttling. Like, that's crazy. But there's a big gap between verbal altercations and physical altercations, and you never want to be the one that takes it to make that leap. You want to be the one that ends it, not starts it.
Yeah,
If anything,
that's true.
but you never wanna.
Yeah, but don't you think when you're verbally abusive, it's a bit childish? You know, when you start cussing out a girl, oh, you fucking ugly, stupid.
Well, it depends
It's
what
just
you
a bit
mean by verbal abusive. If it's verbal diarrhea that's been thrown at you, then yeah, I think that's childish. But verbal abuse can take many forms.
Okay,
you know?
so how do
can
you
wind
deal?
somebody
Okay,
up, for
so
example.
how do you deal with that situation, in your opinion? So
What if I'm
your
there
girl,
and like Chloe
says,
said to me, I
yeah,
wasn't even hungry.
you know what? I wasn't even hungry.
I'd leave the house. That's actually what I'd do. I'd leave the house. She wouldn't see me for a couple of days.
That's the best thing to do.
That is the
It's
best
the
thing
silent
to do.
treatment.
Just not just the silent treatment. Like, she texted me, I'd be like, yeah, what sort of thing? But
Yeah.
like, I wouldn't just ignore her totally. But I'll just leave the house.
But doesn't she win?
Not necessarily.
She got the Chinese. You got to get it out of her. If I can't have it,
one step
nobody
lower
can.
Yeah, 100%.
Fair
I'd
enough.
take a lose-lose over a win-lose any day of the week.
But yeah, I nearly fell off my chair when I read that. So I commend the author for certain lines of dialogue in this book. This is the type of dialogue that makes the book feel real. So yeah, it felt like I got a slap in my face when I read that.
Yeah, recoiled.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I feel like this book is going to be a morbidly funny breath of fresh air. I'm thinking Horrible Bosses. Let's remember that movie. We've got a clique of ladies who are too old and too pissed off to be politically correct. And let's face it, after decades of marriage, wouldn't you want to kill your significant other? If I'm in a room with you for 20 minutes, I become homicidal. So I
And
thought it was-
another book or story. It's not a book. Tag. Have you watched Tag?
Yes,
That's
Tag, I've
another
seen
one.
that.
It's like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
breath
yeah.
of fresh air.
It was
you
a breath
know?
of fresh air. Do you know what's funny about Tag though? The idea of the movie was better than the actual movie because I don't
Well, it's
remember.
a real story.
But I don't remember if you remember when the trailer came out for Tag. That trailer had so much hype around it because it was just such a brilliant trailer.
I never seen the
You never
trailer.
saw it,
But yeah,
when they're
it's-
like trying to tag him in the house or whatever, and he's jumping through windows. and
Well, I've
he's-
seen them. Yeah, they did. But
need
yeah,
to watch it,
it's
right? Need to
because
watch
it's
it.
a real story as well. It's actually 3 people who played tag for how much years? It's
ridiculous.
crazy.
Grown adults, you know.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Sort of thing. Yeah, at work, sprinting down hallways and stuff. Like, come on, man.
I haven't got any problem with the idea behind the story. I just believe that it's a tad heavy-handed. It is literally the case that Pam, Nancy, and Shalta had a brief conversation about potentially killing their husbands, and then they decided, yeah, we're doing this. What 63-year-old women just wake up one day and decide that they're capable of committing murder? It's not just a simple idea. Is it not just a simple idea to have them joke about how they would do it and then realize, it's not a bad plan. Maybe we could actually do it. It felt like the bulk of the book was two of the bloodthirsty wives trying to convince the third wife to be in on the plan. One thing I will say is that I do co-sign their wives killing their husbands till death do us part. I mean, it's more honourable than going against your vows and leaving your husband, surely. Till death do us part.
Yeah, to the fullest extent. I actually made a till death do us part joke later in my notes as well, so it's nice to see we're on the same wavelength again. All right, this book is actually funny. I didn't expect anything less, to be honest, but I always appreciate a good laugh. I like how the husbands are depicted as really old man children whose sole purpose in life is to get their wives to do everything for them, and the women are just quietly seething, consumed by rage and hatred. They're like Sith Lords with Zimmer frames. So it was just funny to see how the husbands were just winding the wives up at any opportunity. So like, again, I don't remember the couples, and I've got a point about that later on as well.
It was too much, you know?
Yeah, it was too much. But there was a scene where the husband would just ask, like, if he needed to remember something about a TV show or something he'd seen, he'd just ask, Nance, come over here. What was that? Nance. As if he just expects her to remember for him. And that definitely made me laugh because it's just the little cumulative ways in which they were constructing their own demise.
How telling is this story? The men in this story are sacrificing themselves and their freedom by breaking the law, by stealing from the casino to potentially get riches to better their whole family. And what were the wives doing? Selfishly plotting to murder their husbands for their insurance money, easily persuaded to kill their husbands too. And the plot thickens. The wives hired Hector, the Mexican hitman, to kill their husbands. At the same time, because Hank was spiraling into paranoia, convinced he heard his boss hiring a hitman to kill him, he did what any totally rational person would do. He went to find a local hitman. The same Hector that his wife had just hired to murder him. So Hank, completely unaware he was walking into a lion's den, looked Hector dead in the eye and said, "I need to hire you. There are people who are trying to kill us. Kill them first." Hector said, "Are you sure? You don't want to know who they are first?" Hank said, "No. If somebody's trying to kill us, then kill them first." You couldn't make this up, can you?
Yeah,
Well, apparently you can. So yeah, this is what I'm talking about. The story is becoming intricately layered. We have husbands trying to steal $1 million. We have the wives trying to kill the husbands. And we have the husbands accidentally ordering a hit on their wives. So the author did well to work with what she had. I personally would have expected to see a more hands-on approach from the wives. All they did for the whole book was hire a hitman. We could have got to see the wives trying to cleverly engineer their husband's death by I don't know, cutting the brake cables or something of that nature. I think that was a massive element that was missing from this book. Do you think it was necessary to show the wives actually doing something, or do you co-sign the direction that the author went in?
No, I like the point that you made. I think it would
The wives did nothing.
been nice to see, you know, these suburban housewives or whatever.
Poisoning cupcakes,
there
something.
You go. You know the scenes in the movies where they're like wearing black with the black beanies or whatever, and they have like maybe a stealth mission, they're sneaking into somewhere.
Yeah.
Something, some form of action. So for
Pulling the pin of a live hand grenade.
Both our teams can get into some form of action.
Yeah.
How to cancel a hitman? You don't. Once that contract is locked in, it's locked in. As a result of less than efficient communication, mistakes are made vis-a-vis our main character's plan to bump their husbands off and claim their life insurance policies, which triggers a chain reaction of events that sees the wives crashing out on one side of the schism and the husbands blissfully unaware that their spouses are taking till death do us part to the fullest extent.
Yeah.
I only know one thing. I would not be the one to make the phone call and try to cancel the hitman. Not with these windows. We'd be done. The hitman / barber.
At first, I wasn't sold on the Padma storyline. She's the daughter of a casino owner, raised in a strict Indian household where marriage and babies are expected yesterday. But Padma's not having it. She rebels, hops on a flight and heads to the casino to oversee a systems upgrade, much to her mother's horror. Meanwhile, back home, her mum's lining up blind dates like it's an arranged marriage speedrun. Fed up, Padma snaps on the phone. "Send all the men and tell them to take their best shot." Enter Hank. He's just stolen $1 million from this woman, and he hears the line, "Send all the men, take their best shot." And he instantly thinks, holy shit, she's hiring a hitman. Because obviously, when you're a paranoid thief on the run from your new boss, everything sounds like a death sentence. And just like that, the chaos begins. So I absolutely loved the way the coincidence lined up. Hank was drawing conclusions where there were none. He was adding 2 and 2 and getting 222.
He's added 2 and 2 again, Apple.
Yeah. So it made for an entertaining read. So I started to actually see that Padma's story for what it was. It was a great example of the author being resourceful. I think it's an example of genius. It's like she pulled it out of nowhere and she made it something. And I think it's interesting because there's authors that I've condemned for using the mother on the phone and complaining about their love life to bulk up the book, like in the trial. Yeah. So, but for some reason, this book, it works much better. Do you think it works? And why do you think it is? Because we never saw Padma, still mother. You know, it was just on the phone, her cussing Padma and this, that, and the other.
I think it works because this was like supposed to be a kind of witty, humorous kind of story, and whereas the trial was supposed to be about the trial. Yeah. And it was like we didn't really sign up to be hearing about Adam's love life in that way.
It was just, and it felt like the trial was struggling for content. It didn't feel like it was struggling for content.
This was a very character-oriented story. So
yeah.
I feel like that's why it felt a bit more seamless than.
And then Padma came in and started foiling plans and this, that, and the other.
It didn't feel shoehorned in.
She was trying to prove herself as having some inherent worth as a woman, not just in being able to push out babies. which is, you know, probably the most fascinating,
Not
amazing
probably.
things
Not
that
probably.
you could do on the planet. You
Not
know,
probably.
I was talking
for either gender.
exactly. I was talking to a woman and I said, "You were born to be a mother." She raged, said, "How dare you?" And I said, "It's funny that society has devalued motherhood so much. If I said to you, you were born to be a millionaire, you'd go, oh, really?
Yeah,
eh?"
exactly.
And when being a mother is a much more important and difficult job, and being a woman, you're part of a group of people who were capable of pushing out a baby with no anesthetic. You know,
100%.
thousands of years ago, women were just doing that shit.
On the floor.
Men could never even imagine, our bodies are not even strong enough to do that.
God.
Thank God. But yeah,
But
so,
no, it is true, 100%.
you know,
is true.
the
And it's
society has
yeah.
really devalued, it's tricked everybody.
which is insane. It's an insane smoke and mirrors job that
Yeah.
we've managed to pull.
Yeah.
I don't know how we've done that.
If I said you were born to be a boss, you're like, oh, really?
Yeah,
A boss?
100%. Wow.
Talk to me nice, you know?
Yeah,
So
but it's crazy because,
isn't
you
it?
know, they saw, you know, before women were in the workforce in mass, they saw obviously men going to work. They saw men, you know, angry and drinking too much and taking too many drugs and stressed all the time and losing our hairlines and committing suicide. They thought, that's what we want.
That's what we want.
We don't want to stay at home with our own children,
Yeah,
putting
exactly.
DVDs into DVD players. We want what they have. I'm finding it difficult to keep up with all the pairings. This is a very apparent problem when you have a story about multiple couples, and I'm finding that the easiest thing to do is just suspend my own confusion, assume that everybody's married to everybody. As funny as this book is, I'll be taking points off of this because I just hate being confused. So we've seen this before, obviously, with the John Mars book.
I completely agree with you, but I think the author did as best as they could because they kept the couples separate. So we had this friend group and we had this friend group, but still it was too much because I couldn't tell you the names of this one and that one.
I would just say avoid having multiple couples at any cost because it just doesn't work in literary format.
Well, it's difficult. You have to really pay attention.
Yeah,
and who wants
maybe it's good for
I'm
other
not
people.
trying to revise.
Yeah.
I just wanted to just tell me a good story.
100%. I don't want to feel like I'm working hard for this, man. I've just come home from work.
And then we had Hector and his wife as well, and she was in the story, and it was a lot. Random boat explosion, suddenly unexpected death. Oh, I know exactly what this is. Let me make a prediction. The husbands found out that their wives were plotting to have them killed for the insurance money, so they flipped the script, faked their deaths, and vanished. Classic. But hey, I guess I'll have to keep reading to find out, right? One thing I can say, though, is that you can always count on the wives to screw over the husbands, when really it should be the other way around. So first, the wives literally tried to have their husbands killed. The husbands dodge the hit, fake their deaths, and disappear. Then, when the casino comes round, sniffing for that stolen $1 million, the wives fold like lawn chairs. Mm-hmm. Oh, our husbands? Yeah, they're not dead. They faked it. Come and get them. Screw them again. You almost have to respect the consistency. And can you imagine, after all that, the husbands still bailed out the wives, paid the ransom, giving away their hard-stolen money. So I didn't like the ending. I thought it was unrealistic that you would take back somebody who has tried to kill you over money. And then also, why didn't they get away with the money? Why can they never get away with it? Is that just a writer's rule or something?
I don't know.
You know, the Italian Job ending, van dangling off the cliff.
I don't give a shit about that one. I don't care about the one where they actually got away with the money. 2007 one where they actually got away with the money.
Yeah. So do you appreciate the ending? And if you was the author, would you have made them get away with the money? Why
I would have made the women go down.
Yeah.
Down in a big way.
Trying to kill your husbands is diabolical. For money as well.
Obviously, and then you blunder it. And then they bail you out at the end, and it's just like, what kind of fantasy is this? Who's this meant for? Who's
and then
enjoying
some
this?
of them get back together, and
like if the shoe was on the other foot and I flipped, and it's like the men have tried to kill their wives, they've blundered it, gone to prison, and like the wives have come to bail them out. I'm like, you guys are bitches. Then.
Yeah, you know,
you guys are actually bitches. I don't feel good about this story.
Yeah,
I don't feel like who's this for?
Yeah,
who's enjoying this? As it turns out, author Sue Hincenbergs has a past working in television, which is so clear to see because this would so obviously make a killer episode of Family Guy. In fact, I think it's better suited for television than it is for book format, to be honest, especially given that it's so difficult to remember who's married to whom. The retirement plan is chock full of references, one-liners, and witty retorts, and one thing I can say for it is that it makes for easy and pleasant reading. Just what you need on a Sunday morning, something light. So it was light, wasn't too difficult to read, easy to get into, a good premise that's going to keep you interested from the beginning because you already know kind of, wives trying to bump off their husbands. Needed more though, more substance.
It needed more substance, as I said. We needed the wives doing something. I did love the intricate layers of certain things, you know, husbands trying to kill wives trying to kill husbands, you know, the confusion.
Yeah, I'm already locked in for that. Just reel me in.
Yeah. But we needed more action. We needed more. So what would you rate it out of 5 and would you recommend it?
You're going to say I love this number, but I'm going to say 2. I'd say 2.
I think we've got to go a little bit higher than 2.
Really, 3?
I'd have to say 3. Because there were so many good... I think if...
I tend to round down, though.
No, because this isn't... Firstly, this is nowhere near as bad as all the other books you put as 2.
Well,
So-
that's why this system is flawed. I keep saying
Right,
it.
It's got to be 3. Of course the system...
So what was the favourites? 4? And you wanted to put
favourites?
this 3?
The favourites was a strong 4, if not nearly a 5. I can't tell you why it wasn't a 5. I don't... Oh, the ending... It would. I think it would have been 5 if not for the ending of the favourites, because it just went left. But we're not talking about the favourites.
Yeah, we're not. But it's like, if that's a 4 and you're saying this is a 3.
This is it's a weak 3, but I think this easily could have been a 4 if women were more involved and they got away at the end.
Fair enough.
We're in business. We're in business, so I think we
Yeah,
had
the
some
ending
component.
had a lot to do with it. Because if obviously, the men get away at the end.
But I
you
think-
see them in prison or whatever, and they're like...
Even if they get away with the money and still go to prison, even that.
Yeah.
But I think the big missing component is that the women did absolutely nothing. They went round to the barbers to hire a hitman and sat around twiddling their thumbs for the whole book. They didn't do anything. And that was just, it stuck out like a sore thumb, and I don't know why the author didn't do something about that. It made no sense to me. But I couldn't recommend the book. You know, if someone said they want to read it, I'd say, yeah, go on. But I'm not going to say, you must read this book.
Yeah. I mean, when you say the words recommend, I was actually picturing someone saying, should I read this? And me saying, yeah. But now that
No, but if someone says to me, should you read the book? I'd be like, yeah, go on. But I'm not going to personally, if someone says, I need a good book, I'm not going to say.
I'm saying every time you've ever asked me that question on this channel, I've been, in my head, someone said, should I read this? And that's what I've been answering, as opposed to, you should read this.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I mean? But
So
I
what you're
agree
saying
with
is
what
that
you're
question
saying,
is flawed as well.
Of course.
The system's flawed.
Every question's flawed. Every
You're
question's
flawed.
You're going to be flawed. Floor you.
Nice one.
Thank you very much.
Shall we end with quote of the day?
We should, absolutely. Why don't you go first?
Quote of the day. If you're going to fight, then fight like you are the third monkey on the ramp to Noah's Ark and it's just begun raining.
Is that the bomb? Is that the bomb? The bomb
bomb?
quote? that
No.
you said was- That's pretty good, though.
The one that I got is better than this. But yeah, this, I stole this from the book. This was in the book.
Was it?
Yeah.
Don't remember. Quote of the day.
You are the third monkey.
Quote of the day. I like work. It fascinates me. I can sit and look at it for hours.
Oh, dead. That was more with the clown stuff, yeah. That was.
Oh, really?
No,
Really?
that was, what do you mean?
Mr. Fight Like the Third Monkey.
That wasn't.
That was definitely clown stuff.
Not
Just because it
necessarily.
was funny doesn't mean it wasn't clown stuff.
But it was still. It was just still true. You know, if you're gonna fight, do it properly. You know,
nah, go
give
harder,
it
go home.
everything. Yeah,
go
give
harder. Leave it
everything.
on the court.
So yeah, yeah, that's it.
Till next time.